David and housekeeping awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss. We are here. Yes, a little late, but we are here, and we are excited about a big week and a great show with you guys. We're going to have a fun show, talk about a bunch of different things, and we're just going to be honest with you guys. Like, we're going to be all over the place today, which, honestly, in a lot of ways, that's our fun shows, and
They're all fun.
well, that's true. Fun every week. It's true. If you haven't shared yet, make sure you share. Make sure you tag someone, bring them in here, and it's going to be a great time. This is crazy, man. Episode 331. All right. And man, we had a big, busy weekend. Like, I tell you what's kind of crazy is that, after AKA, then there's competes. Then there's nothing in in March. And then there's, a week or two into, and then we get Ocean State, right? And so it's kind of like this month is a great month where you think it's a big resting time for a lot of people, but there's a lot of events going on too. So for some people that want to maybe, hey, I'm going to chill and just rest and train. And then there's some that say, hey, I'm going to hit all these regional ones and keep, I'm ready. I'm pumped up, so I can be prepared that way. And then you also had international events as well. That really, this is one of the first big World Cups of the year that happened.
It's important to do some tournaments in the spring.
Yeah.
If you go into the summer and really having your last real competition was late fall or winter before, you're not going to be ready, right? So even if you're like, I may only do like 3 or 4 events for the whole year, you got to make one of them in the spring, because if you make one of them in the spring, like you may be like, I might only do one other tournament at the end of the year. Make one of them in the spring, because it really gives you a gauge for where you're at and for where the sport is at right now. All right. To know like, oh, this is that level right now. Or how come nobody's doing this? Is this really an opportunity for me to capitalize? All right, I guess I'm going to pivot. Right. And you don't really know that until you're in doing that in the spring as well. So I think it used to be, if we really are straight about it, Jeff, March was saturated.
Yeah, exactly.
Big tournaments, because we had Irish Open. I think it was either early April or late March where we had AmeriKick as well, right?
March was AmeriKick
there. Yep. So then it was like, all right, we got some pretty big events. And then, also what used to be a tournament was the Austrian Classic. That was in April, all right? So the spring, while it may be wet and dreary as far as the weather goes, for karate tournaments, it's all the same temperature inside, except for Disney World, except for the U.S. Open. That's another freaking animal. All right.
Sam, good job, man. I know you guys had a big weekend down there in Georgia for, USA martial arts team. Awesome. He's talking about, Michael's talking about getting rusty. Can't be taken too
exactly.
And they had a lot of tournaments this weekend. USA Sport Karate is doing a lot right now. We had Marty Eubanks had his tournament, which another great support, another great showing for his event. Congrats to Cam Kloss, who won both the Forums and the Fighting Grand down there. Came down from up in Pennsylvania down there and did an amazing job. So congrats to him. I don't know who won the women's fighting. If you guys know, let me know on that. What was the other thing? I'm going to share something funny from that because my instructor went there, and it's just a silly thing. It may even be a part of one of my other subjects for the show. But and then let's see, we also had in Utah was the trials for WKU, the West Coast trials for that. So they were over there at Mike Tobin's school training with Jack Felton, Mike Tobin, Aaron Shipp, Lori Stanley, all of them out there training and selecting, the team to go this year. And so it's going to be pretty exciting for that. Let's see. I feel like there were some other events as well. I know. There was the USA Sport Karate event up north as well. So congrats to those guys that did so much. I know Amber was down there. Amber Rutherford was down there at the Freedom Cup down there and doing some seminars. Same thing with Cameron Whittington, and so amazing guys. Lots going on in our world. Let's see. Cameron Whittington won Forms Grand. Case and Joe won Weapons CMX. John Curaturo won the men's fighting, and Samantha Gonzalez won women's grands. Awesome. Congrats.
Congrats. Look at my guy, John Curatolo, still winning. You know what I did the other day? Listen to this.
What?
Remember when I was talking about John, this is years ago on the show. Yeah. And I said, someone should make a t-shirt. John Curatolo is good. I still wear that t-shirt to this day. I wore it last week. And because now when your kids are really young, you can wear a shirt that says blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean anything to them. They're just words. Right. They're just letters. Right. They don't even know. Right. But when you get kids that are readers, they just read everything. So like he's reading and he goes, Dad, who is John Curatolo? And I'm like, oh, I'm glad you asked. This is so cool. Let's have this conversation, right? So I got to tell him about John. It was fun. There's no t-shirt about me. Actually, no, there is a t-shirt about me. I also cannot wear that around my kids.
Correct. Because it says, yeah.
Right. You can't get it at the Martial Arts Network store, right?
You get the, and it glows in the dark.
And it glows in the dark. So if you are an Alex, you're going to wake up to have your spouse have their shirt screaming at you to shut up.
It's true.
It's also entertaining. Yo, I don't want to like completely go off, but I got a thing. But if you got a thing that we were,
I want to, before we get into that, let's go into, Ocean State Grand Nationals. And again, guys, make sure your book, you get everything set up now, man, because it's coming up fast. And I tell you, like, this is going to be one of the most anticipated events that we have this year. And again, we talked about spring tournaments. This is really that one that really just has, been there forever, but has always had some amazing moments, right? I mean, 100%. When we're talking about, the first time that, the certain people, like Raymond and Jowdy and all these guys that were on Paul Mitchell, that they came and were on Straight Up, right? So we have that. We also have.
It's going to be a great time, Brandy. You're going to have a lot of great new experiences.
We really are. Again, like I said, some of the first times that you've seen certain people win, at Grands, another one that we're going to talk about, some TKD moments. One of those was at Ocean State 2 years ago, where Caitlin Vaughn won the grand championship with her Korean form. You talk about some great matchups that they would have with, teams from Europe coming over to Ocean State, right? A lot of just amazing things. Last year, watching Enrique win the open weight in a dominant fashion, really, against someone who you wouldn't think that he would be able to do that, because two big, amazing kickers going at it. And you know what? Like, I remember Damon at the end just saying, finish him. And I'm like, Damon's like, he's part of Mortal Kombat, and just like, finish him.
Yeah.
Finish him. I was like, I just chuckled when he said that. I was like, oh my God, that's too good.
but that is typically the case though. When you get to kickers like that, the bigger guy usually wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, if you get Enrique versus Preston Clements,
Yeah.
I'd probably pick Preston. But if you would be like, yay, Enrique picked him off, beat him
Yeah.
10-4, you'd be like, crap, you had a great day, but I suppose I could see it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's crazy, right? Enrique is probably to this point maybe had more success than Preston did in his career, right?
I think so. Well,
so you can't tell me like you couldn't be crazy to pick them. It's just the matchups, right?
Yeah.
So what you do, this person does better. Oh, and they're 4 inches taller than you and 60 pounds heavier than you. All right. And so just the sheer clashing of the legs, they're gonna win. So, but that's awesome that he was able to do that, though. Big ups to the kickers. Can I ask this question before we get too deep? Because it happened for me over the weekend, and I was thinking of you, and I was like, hang on. So yesterday, I'm doing this wedding show. It's like a convention, right? It's like a home and garden show, but for just wedding vendors, right? Come on over here. I have a photo booth. Come on over here. I do cotton candy. Why that's necessary, I don't know. All right. Things like that. All right. So anything wedding vendor related, you can go. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to be there. I'm going to have the best looking stuff there, which I did. All right. And I'm set up. But in my head, I'm like, I'm counting down. I know when the doors are going to open. So I know, because people are asking me like, hey man, you want a coffee? You want some water? And I'm like, no, because I know I can't afford to take a bathroom break.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I plan this stuff out and I'm thinking like, do you ever do that? Do you ever just like think about like, I actually can't afford to drink water. As stupid as that sounds, I can't afford to drink water because of my job. But you say it out loud, it makes you giggle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever done this?
Yeah, so I always have like my water bottle with me all the time, but then I'm like, all right, slow down, don't, because I don't have I don't have a break in between classes, enough time to do this and that. And I think a lot of us deal with that as instructors, right?
Oh yeah, I learned that early on.
Yeah, and so you got to be careful with that. I mean, you got to stay hydrated, and honestly, I need the water for my throat, and because especially when I'm like, you're yelling, you're being up there, you're active, you're moving, but you also got to pace yourself too with that. So yeah, that's an interesting one.
Dude, but I'll tell you what, when it's the end of the night, because you condition your body to like, all right, it's whatever time I'm going, those are violent peas at that point.
Those are, and the thing is too, is that you have to, this is why, here's the deal, that's why it's important.
Now 10.5 hours worth.
This is why it's great for me just to have the restroom. I have one in the dojo and then one in the lobby area. So I don't have to leave and then possibly get in a conversation with a parent.
Oh man.
Straight to to there. Then I come out and then I speak to everyone. So that worked out pretty well. That worked out really
that is good. There's always like, if you were building a dream studio, like there's always a bunch of like options for things like that.
Yeah.
Leandro, I don't even know what to think about it. I don't love any of it, but at the same time, like I thought signing Sam Darnold was a stupid idea. Well, that turned out to be a genius idea, and then another stupid idea to let him go. I don't know. I don't know what to think. So, all right. So you do some of the same stuff then.
Yeah.
So you do plan that out.
Well, yeah, and then or I always have help. You know what I mean? Like, but with you, like you didn't have that. So, like when I go to an event and do the same thing,
like if you do a parade,
right? Yeah, I have to have someone with me, or it's going to be like, I mean, especially if you're leaving stuff on the day. I mean, it's chaotic. So yeah.
What do you mean leaving stuff? What?
Well, I mean, if I'm at an event, right, and I have and it's just me, and I'm eventually going to have to go to the restroom, but you gotta make sure it's really a dead time. That's kind of hard. You never know.
So this actually does tie into tournaments a little bit. I know it's probably like, where the frick is this going?
Yeah.
I will also honestly say there are times where I will look at the restroom situation at a tournament and be like, looks like I'm not drinking water today.
Yeah, it's true.
And you're like, this looks like no one's cleaned this floor since 1987. This is disgusting. Right? Oh, I've got to say this. All this talk about drinking water. So I hit up our buddy, Joe Boone, right? Good friend of mine. Had talked to him about something. He's got a fight this weekend.
Yes, yes, that's right.
So he's got a fight this weekend, and I'm talking to him about it, and I'm like super bummed I can't be there. Like, I actually have something I'm tied up on for the entire weekend. He's got one, and I'm like legitimately, he and I FaceTimed each other, and I was like I was so sad. Anyway, he's telling me he's telling me that he gets irritable, and he's getting irritable as he's telling me. Like, so what other people do that like irritate him, and I'm dying in laughter. And then he starts telling me about his water intake, right? He's like, yeah, I'm about to do my cut, and I've got to drink like 2 gallons of water a day. And I'm like, that is obnoxious. Like, you're waterboarding yourself, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, do you know how much 2 gallons of water weighs? I'm like, never thought to care to know what that weight is. 17 pounds. 17 pounds of water to cut weight.
Wow.
I think it's bananas when you think about it. You're like, I'm going to do all this.
Yeah.
To then go out there to have someone try to physically harm me. Like, I'm actually kill a person.
Right.
Turns out guy's fighting is 19. Right.
Dang.
So so he and I are talking. I'm like, dude, he's too young to be intimidated.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get it because he's got a Muay Thai background. So he doesn't get that, like, he should be cautious of Joe. He's too young to even think about that.
Exactly.
Like, that's actually dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
To someone who's like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna go. And you're like, you should take a break, man. You might catch an elbow. I don't care. Those are the dangerous guys.
Right. That's
All right, now that I've derailed this.
Yeah, Billy just said SMAC was this weekend as well. SMAC International. So another great event. I mean, there was a lot of events over this weekend. So congrats to all those guys. I know I'm not sure. Well, I think Ibby and Tahir both won the grands there this weekend in the fighting. And I know that Jack Sterling won one of the junior grands, I think the weapons grand. So lots of cool things over the weekend. This weekend, there's a lot of tournaments. I'm actually doing a crazy weekend of being that. Yes, sir. That's what we announced earlier. Yep. Cam won both, man, over in Martin Eubanks. So awesome job. Gary, if you know who won the women's, I hadn't seen that one yet. Oh, Mitchell Street won forms. Awesome. Good stuff up in SMAC. Dang it, where's I going with that? Oh, this weekend. This weekend. So again, this is one of those things you do as a promoter, and I haven't done that in a long time. I've done it more as a competitor every now and then, but I'm going Friday to my friend Josh Bailey's tournament down in in South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, which is where my family is from. It used to be Spartanburg, is where he had it, the Great Southeast, which was Rick and Nikki Lee's tournament years ago. Now he has that event. He's having that in Greenville. It's going to be Friday, Saturday. I'm going to go Friday, then drive partway and go to an event Saturday in Prince George, Virginia. All right. Do that. And I have students going to that as well. Do that, then drive up to Alexandria, Virginia, and do a seminar and private lessons all day Sunday, and then come back home. So yeah, going one of those weekends. And I still would like to try to get. All right, yeah, from Revolution. So it was either Yorgi or it was Katushka that won the grand over there, Gary. Yeah. So it's going to be a wild weekend, man.
See, all of that, I applaud, like, the go-getter, the push it. She's like, hey, if I got extra time, this is what I'm doing. Let's do it. It. It's the driving.
I know, man. I know.
Not a professional driver. I don't
Yeah.
like doing it. I just can't, man.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, I'm in the car all the freaking time. All right. I drive so freaking much. Right.
Yeah.
So
I feel that. And yeah, I'm getting that way too. It's just like, That's why this
No,
year
you most of your miles are on the weekend, right?
I see what you're saying. Well,
Well,
yeah.
I guess mine are too, if not I say it that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just couldn't. If I
Yeah.
were you, I could not drive to go to one state, do a tournament, go a couple more hours, another direction, do another tournament, go a couple more hours. Like, I just couldn't do it. Yeah, I applaud you. Just get on a plane.
I can't go to a plane to some of these places. Like there's not an airport close. No, like 5 hours down there and then a couple or 4.5 hours down there and then 4 hours the other way and then an hour the other way. No, like that don't make sense. All right. Italian World Cup was also this weekend. So a big weekend for everyone out there. Congrats to Bailey Murphy for winning the grand champion. Congrats to, I know all the Corelli guys won their divisions, Demetrios, Mason, and Martin. I know Tina Below won her division. I believe she got second in the grand champion. I didn't recognize who won. So if you guys have that information, let me know. Congrats to Rashad winning all of his forms of weapons divisions. And also Mason Bomba did a return of his bow form out there. So, and he got a bronze.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it was pretty sweet, man. To see those guys doing that. Joe Rhodes won a first place in his category. So huge shout out to him. Let me see. Do not know what that is. All right.
I want to speak on Mason's form because Mason Mason performing in competition and doing that again is good because he is surrounded himself with a culture that does not do that all the time. All right. So doing it still competing and performing at a super high level where nobody around you can do any of that or even wants to do any of that, that can be hard to do. So back to, I also didn't watch his performance. Maybe he mailed it in.
I watched it. It was a good one. He had one spot where it was like one of these catches, at the end. So I think that's what, but it was pretty cool. And everyone, a lot of those guys, especially the guys in Hungary and Corelli, like don't always get to see him compete like that. So that was pretty cool for them. And also, congrats Devin Hopper and Tyson Ray. They won out there as well. And Brett said, see, I knew there's so much going on for you too, for both of us, when we get done with one's work and then we get to this and we forget to check in on the app. But all those results, guys, for the Italian World Cup are in the app, Martial Arts Center Network. So definitely.
You guys haven't gotten the app. It's so fun,
simple. So
exactly fun and simple. I was just on the app yesterday, just having fun. If you're just hanging out, have some fun. Pop up the app.
Dude, this event was, I think it kept growing. They said, over 3,000 competitors. I mean, a lot of the divisions had like 52. There was a couple in there, 52, 60 competitors in those divisions. I know that Rashad, like his fighting division, I think both of his fighting divisions that he was doing had 52 competitors. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, they're doing big things. Oh, another shout out to Evelyn. Evelyn did light contact. Yes, she did light contact this weekend. Fought in that, won her division, and was named the light contact fighter of the weekend. So, so pretty sweet for her taking that next step to something different. As she's been, we've been seeing her with her first fight in Total Combat. Lots of things going on with that. So. Pretty neat, man. With how many different people were over there. We also had let's see, a couple others from Revolution that were out there. I know Nathan Fate from Ireland was out there. He got a bronze. Ariane from Quebec, she got a bronze. So so let's see, 2,000 333 athletes and 3,868 entries. So awesome.
Well, that's good that it was able to break it out between entries and athletes.
Yeah.
Because before, I think it was like Roy Baker would always say, like, the Irish Open, over 5,000 registrations. I have the worst Irish accent, by the way. That was my attempt. All right. But that would be like, wait, whoa, what'd you say? 5,000 registrations. So how many competitors? We had 5,000 registrations. That's not the question I asked. That's not what I asked. Because I registered like 6 times.
Right.
So what does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Well, yeah, I mean, let's get into this fun one that I was actually, and this is just kind of a funny thing. It's things that mean something different now than what they used to, right? And this could be martial arts, or this could be whatever, right? So that's one of those things, right? Like registrations. Well, what do you mean? You know what? Oh, what about this? Or things that actually don't exist anymore, you know, that were a thing, you know, like this is a funny thing that happened. Okay.
Can't wait to hear.
My instructor went to Marty Eubanks tournament. Okay. He told me at the end, he thought he did his worst form, one of his worst forms ever, but he still got first place somehow. So he won weapons and he won forms. He does grands in both. Well, he takes his medals out of his bag and he's got a first place and a third place. And then he gets his email from Juventex and he gets a first place certificate and a third place certificate. Well, the guy that announced the winners went first, second, third in that order instead of third, second, first, like most of them do, especially when you're talking about the 50 plus, 60 plus divisions. These guys are old school, right? And and so what's funny is that the other guy, he actually got third place. My instructor did. And the other guy gets first place. Both of them thought, yeah, I got first, you got third, because of the way that I was like, why don't y'all both just turn around and look at Juventex? Man, we're old school. We don't do that. And both of them, like, he went to the grand thinking he won. And now he realizes, yeah, it was kind of weird. I just thought about it. My name wasn't in there for the grand. Like, it's just silly things like that we don't think about. And I'm sitting there like, and I want to call him a dummy, you know, but then I'm realized, like, you know what, maybe he's right. He's done it this way for 30 years. Like, why did they change it and decide to go first, second, third, you know, like just silly stuff, right? That are just different now than what they used to be.
Yeah, that one's pretty silly. I'm not gonna lie. That one will make you giggle.
And I'm like, what in the world? It's like, imagine if I would have won grand and it was actually like third place.
Oh, see, that's the thing. That's the thing that would piss everybody off.
Oh, I know. That's crazy, right? So that's one. I'm going to tell you one that's a normal thing that happens to me all the time. And the first thing either I say or someone else says, and actually this happens a lot, because I'll drive from Rustburg to Lynchburg. It's about 15 minutes depending on where I'm going. And I'll get on the road and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to call this person while I'm on the road because I'll have time and I'm not around people. So I click that. And right now there's always a spot now, which it never was before. But this year, all of a sudden, there's a spot where all my calls drop. And I'm like, dang it, why did I do that, right? And the first thing, I'm going to call this person out because he says this. But and it'll be when I'm talking Cannell. And Cannell would be like, oh, man, you're in a bad area. You're in a bad area. And I'm sitting there like, that means a lot different now than what it used to be. You know, like bad means has to do with cell phone service. Bad area back in the day meant,
oh, that's funny,
for your life and for your safety, right?
Well, that's like what. Yes, that's funny, man. I like that. That was good. That's not where I thought you were going. I'm like, where's he going with this thing?
Yeah,
because like immediately, what my head went to would be like. And I say it on the show every now and then, like things that mean something different. that maybe people just don't know, and they probably should know now because I say it almost every single show, is what a cheeseburger is.
Right.
Right? Like I do still have to tell people like that's what this is, right? And so, but
yeah, cheeseburger. There are a lot of different ones. When I was growing up, but in wrestling, there was some people would same thing as a cheeseburger. We would call pud. Oh, this dude's a pud. A pud, yeah. Like,
why is he a pud?
A lot of times, like he would be someone who like
a puddle.
Yeah, just wasn't really in shape, but like they were in that weight class because hey, like they didn't have anybody else, yeah, or they were heavy, or like hey, this was the easiest spot on the team to get onto because you have like 12, 13 weight classes. Oh, this guy's a pud. You know, we're gonna be able to move him around easily. Like that was the thing we would say.
I know
so
that. That's cool.
Cheeseburger. Yeah, a pud. So
see, some of these things can cross over. See, like,
oh, yeah.
I could say cheeseburger, and someone might be like, what are you talking about me? I'm one. But if you say like, oh, he's a pud, if you had enough inflection in your voice,
oh man, let's go, pud.
Right? We're gonna be out here just talking trash about someone, just cheering him on. Let's go, pud. That's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I don't know if there's some other things though that like that are different. Man.
You know, maybe not.
Maybe in our world, I don't know.
I'm sure there's things that were different. There was definitely things that we did that nobody really knows. I don't think anybody does anymore. I haven't seen anybody use hairspray on their feet in a long time.
When
was the last time you saw anybody do that?
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen people talk about it. Yeah, I have, but it's never really a big issue, you know. But I have seen that and usually it's because of people that have coaches like from our era, like a Marcel Jones or myself or someone else like that would be like, hey, you better go, you know, go do that, right? So
now, see, here's the thing: when people are experiencing mats that are really good quality mats, like they don't have to use hairspray, they don't like stick, they're not like cut up or anything like that, they're just good quality mats. Understand, those are probably the dirtiest things on the entire planet, right? And the reason why they feel great is because they're worn the heck in and they've never been cleaned. All right, because at the end of that tournament, they take those mats, they load them up and put them wherever they put them, and then the next year they just pull them right back out and lay them right back out. And they've been doing that for a decade. So those mats that you think are the best, understand it's got a decade's worth of bacteria just living in you now.
That's true. Mario Eubanks, congrats, man. Yeah, 567 competitors. Congrats. His record attendance. Keep it going, man. Keep it going. Keep it going.
And then the slippery mats, those are the ones that people actually clean, or those are the brand new mats that there's no way to clean all this back. So it's like, what would you choose?
What would you choose?
I would still choose the dirty mats.
Yeah.
I would just choose the dirty mats and just accept my fate. I would accept my fate and be like, I'm going right to the shower. All right. It's just, what are you going to do? I don't want to, because you can seriously injure yourself on some slippery mats. Right.
That's true. You can. You know, some things that, I mean, man, this is really a different, we're going all over the place here, which I like, but imagine, you know what, like back in the day, we would get to stage and there were no mats on those stages. You know? Like, imagine that.
Like, you did it more than me, but it was just that tarp.
They would put a tarp, or some of them would have like the, a lot of them have like this frilly, like almost like a turf type thing, or I don't even know how to explain it, but a lot of times it would just be like a fur or it'd be carpet. But you know how you see the stage, right? And each one is partition off. Well,
they're planks.
They're planks. Those things open up. Well, you would be competing with that, and they would be rocking. If your foot got in the wrong spot, it would get pinched and lots of things, right? Or you had the old man, like of course, man-made, but I mean like self-made stages that people would do with, boards and stuff, right?
Well, you know what? We could talk about some of the worst
Congrats, Drew.
positions to like or conditions to perform in and compete in, and crazy enough, I don't think cold concrete is the worst.
No,
It sucks. It's pretty dang bad. I don't think it's the worst, right? But like even like that, Brett, like the thinnest carpet over that, sometimes that's more dangerous than just bare concrete.
Yeah,
because
because
thin carpet can move a little bit.
it would, or you would slip off of that, and then guess what? You would slip off that onto the concrete, which is not good. Like
But if
competes.
you're just on the concrete, you're actually
Right.
safer.
Right.
Crazy as that sounds.
It is crazy, right? Timu.
Slippery mats.
Oh, another one.
Easy
Sorry,
pop.
there was another tournament over the weekend too. Yeah, Clayton Watkins had another amazing Pro Mac event down there in Texas. So again, his record attendance as well too. So man, we're Spookerai is booming right now. So
Yeah, Marty's brought up a good one. Tile. That
yes.
actually might be the worst.
Yeah, I've been to tournaments like that where they didn't have a gym; they would just do it in the cafeteria area. I
Yeah,
remember that.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, like local tournaments. Yeah.
Okay, now this
Yeah,
one that
they're the
Brett's-
one. What about all right? You remember the gym floors that had carpet on it?
What?
Yeah, like do you remember like gyms that are carpet, like a basketball court, but a carpet basketball court?
I gotta say that sounds like a church basement.
Well, there's that too. It became what they do at churches, but some of the middle schools used to have that and do that a lot, right?
Oh, I never.
And,
experienced that.
Yeah, and so one of my youngest memories, I mean, I was like 8 years old, but back in the day, we would sit and watch the adult black belts by themselves doing forms first before the whole tournament start, which I love it. It's great, right? And one of the top competitors at that time was doing flying commas, and he went like this and got stuck in the back of his head. All right. Very beginning. So there's blood all over that carpet, and we all had to compete all over that the rest of the day. All right. Yeah.
But
It's
see,
just-
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you had that carpet or a slippery mat, which
Yeah.
would you rather compete on?
Yeah, probably that carpet.
Me too.
I know. Carpets
just
were
like-
one thing which were weird that people would do that, but yeah.
Now there was some carpets. They were awesome. Like if you went to like a hotel ballroom that had some nice thick padding underneath that carpet.
Oh yeah. They're
you
like
go, oh, this is great.
I didn't mind the Buffalo carpet. Like that was pretty good. So the tournament, the hotel that Super Grands was at a bunch. The first few years we didn't have mats there. It was just we just used the carpet. It wasn't that bad. All right. So and that was like 2005, 2006. We weren't using the mats
No-
really. So
No, I kind of don't know if there was. Yeah, there was some later on. But I think if you think about like the moves that you did, right? When you did the kicks from the knee.
oh dude, I had to have a knee pad.
But I bet like if you were on like those thick, cushy carpet, like that's better.
Yeah, but there was only one time where I remember thinking, "Oh, I don't need to wear a knee pad," and I think it might have been open, like it might have been at like, oh, it was at New England Open, yeah, because they had the actual.
They had
gymnastics.
those gymnastics mats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
all right. Well,
But
that
that's
that
not
was
all
fun.
the best, though. Yeah,
But if you're not prepared, like your legs, they'll be toast, man. There was a lot of
man.
fighters who were
Yeah.
going into that and then just weren't prepared for it. And then it just turned into a slugfest. And occasionally, like maybe someone will throw a spin kick, right?
that's
Because,
happened to me, David. Happened to me at Dixieland.
Dude,
Yeah,
get-
the staple. they
oh,
put-
I've seen that.
yeah. Yeah, that happened to me as well. That was pretty bad. And oh, there was one more that oh man.
Well, how about this?
What about
We talked
yeah,
about the pluses of those
you're-
carpets.
good one.
Well, what about the minuses of those carpets? How many guys did you see with rug burns? Right?
All right.
Carpet burns.
Have you been to some martial arts schools back in the day that had just the carpet and it was so tight?
Yeah.
It'd be Abdella's school.
That was
Oh
us.
my God. His carpet, my feet were just completely done. I went through like four different layers of skin and
Oh,
training
100%.
in his school for a week.
That was all the NK schools, all except for like one that I can really remember. Two. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was, tight carpet, like coarse, right? Like you're about to get some calluses big time for the rest of your life,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's what it
Like,
was. We
it'll
didn't get mats. I promise this is the truth. We didn't get mats until like 2004 or 5.
wow.
Isn't that bananas? No, it was 2004. How bananas is that?
It's true. I mean, I know for me in my school, we had this. I don't even know where my instructor got it from, but this crazy, like, thick foam that he covered the whole floor with. And the thing is, your feet were. I mean, it would fragment and go. Your feet were just disgusting after. It was just like blue foam all over it. You'd have to wash it off before you even got in the car. It was
What are
crazy.
your favorite mats to have in a school?
I mean, I still like the puzzle mats, but I do like the
Swain?
Swain mats. Yeah.
Swain mats are good. You know, I can't remember what it was, but it's like after a while, you look and your feet are black.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what
Yeah.
the frick is this?
Mhm,
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like maybe they were Swain. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe they were Tiger Claw. But anyway, I would come home. This was early on in our marriage, and Lindsay's like, "You're not getting in this bed." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Have you looked at your feet?" I'm like, "I'm a karate instructor. I look at feet all day long. This stuff's blank to me." Right? She's like, "This is disgusting."
Yeah, you got dojo feet. You got to clean that off before you get
Dojo feet.
Yeah.
But it normally just happened to me after I would take my foot pads off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's for real. You take your foot pads off, you're like, "Duh."
Yeah.
Oof.
Here's another thing
Maybe
that
just the left one. The left one was on the ground the whole time.
the other thing that happened a bunch back in the day and that people did on their stages was that they would have a tarp or like a banner over the stage, like bluegrass, right? Bluegrass would have
Yeah.
always had the tarp over it with everything on top with the mats underneath it, right? So that was always a different thing because you could have the mats underneath, but then the tarp or the banner would kind of like bubble up. So I remember before I had a couple of times where I'd slip on stage because it was just like I literally tripped over the staging, the banner pretty much is, so it's kind of wild.
I don't know what is being used today, right? Because unless you and nobody knows unless they're a part of the setup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I do know is that it was really easy to tell the quality of those boards of the stage when it was surfaces like that. Now that we're all spoiled in a good way, I don't want to say spoiled, but like appreciated. We're appreciated as competitors that here are the mats to protect yourself and to make this sport legitimate. Okay, good. All right. But when you were on those tarp wrapped, you could feel like, oh, there's a hole in the wood here. There's a hole right there, right? You're like, my heel is going through it. All right. And that's what we all did, right? We'd get on the mats, we'd walk around, we'd stomp, we'd come over here and be like, ooh, this is a dead spot. All right. You had to know what your surface was. Still, I would go in, I would do that in every ring. I would go and still just to make sure, right? And then you look like an idiot because you're doing that and they're all the same now, which is perfect. It's what they should have been. But hey, we were told to question everything.
That's true. That's true. All right. So the past few weeks have been kind of wild with updates and things. we haven't gotten too far into it because honestly, we don't really know what's going on. And so sometimes we talk about things without knowing, sometimes we don't. But this time it's just, you know what, let's just let it ride out and let's see what happens. But it looks like hopefully NASCA will start announcing, is what we're seeing, it is announcing each committee, right? So last week we saw that Mike McCoy will be the new president of the board. And then they also showed the legal, I forgot the name, I think the legal committee, which is Nick Smith, Jared Liker, and Mike Sawyer. So it looks like, hey, now we're going to start releasing who are going to be parts of these committees, at least on the promoter side, I think. And you know what? That way we can kind of get some idea of who to go to for what right?
Is happening?
Yeah, what's happening. But also, I think it's a good professional way to show who to go to for what, right? Like, all right, so if there's a situation or something that we need to know, or maybe even, hey, why was this written this way? Let's go to these people. Or, you know, in the situation that we talked about a few weeks ago of, hey, why is this person being allowed in the events? That would probably
I actually have the opposite takeaway on this.
Okay.
Because when you say that,
called.
like, all right, this actually makes it easier, and then we can tell like who's going into this decision making. Like, it doesn't mean that we are going to feel like the decisions that are made are all fantastic decisions, but then no organization is going to have people that feel that.
No. It doesn't.
I
mean
think what it does do more than anything else is make it a lot easier for bad decisions to just keep happening. And I'll explain why. So if you were like, hey, why was this person allowed to do this? And you're talking to somebody and you go, you know, I don't really know. You should probably go talk to somebody from that committee.
Yeah.
If you find them, they'll go, why would you talk to me? I don't have anything to do with that. I didn't even know this happened. You got to go talk to yada da da. Like, he just told me to come talk to you. I don't even know.
Right.
I don't know the details. If you want some answers,
that could happen. That could happen.
Oh, never mind. I meant you're supposed to talk to that person. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas before,
it could be like
goes to Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And they'll go, hey, I got a question about this. They're going to one person. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but again, we've always been. So even for years when I had my tournament, my thing was, hey, you need to do something about this. There was a thing with the rules or whatever. Well, that's not my job. Yes, it's my tournament, but it's not my job. That's why I hire an arbitrator to take care of that. That's why I have, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I have people to do this and do that in these situations. So I think sometimes when we try to be the one over everything, you can't do that, you know, like.
All right. I agree with you.
Yeah, because then it becomes, all right, well, we know we're going to get at Jeff's tournament. He's just going to try to take care of these people or whatnot. And that's not right. You know what I mean? That's not the fair thing. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I still feel like this decision doesn't give us any answers.
Well, no, not yet until we see everything. We're still, we still have some questions, some things, you know, but again, let's sit back and wait. Like, cause I really don't know yet what everything's going, but again, we can, that's funny, Brent. You're funny.
That's actually funny. Okay. But like when David is saying that Waco has a bunch of committees that handle different areas. Yeah. It doesn't make that easy, but that's a logistical nightmare too. They're a massive logistical nightmare. You can know the one person to handle exactly this. I got to talk to other committee members as well. What?
Yeah.
And so just because Waco does it and we like their professionalism doesn't mean it's a good answer.
I get what you're saying. I think it all depends on the organization of it. I think it's how it's laid out. I think, of course, you could always use people as a scapegoat, but I mean, I hope that's not what's going to happen. But
yeah, that's true.
I think, you know, again, we needed to bring that up and just talk about that. What do we expect? You know, I'm maybe the next committee will be announced, you know, this week, you know, as well. And maybe we'll find out some more answers, you know, moving forward. But the biggest thing right now is Ocean State is coming up. And I tell you, this next segment is TKD Moments, sponsored by Ocean State Grand Nationals. What are some Taekwondo moments that were big in sport martial arts that you can think of? I mentioned one earlier of Caitlin Vaughn, winning the Grand 2 years ago at Ocean State. This could be at Ocean State. This could be anywhere else. What are some things that you think of when you think of TKD moments?
I love the TKD forms moments because TKD forms are fantastic. Oh, thank you, David. But TKD fighting moments are actually harder to come by in this sport because they're two totally different worlds of fighting, right?
Correct.
Either one of them like the other, right? And so there was this guy, however, I think his name was David Chang. All right.
Okay. You didn't go with
who I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
It was 2005, I believe. It was right when Ring Stars were coming out. All right.
Oh, okay.
And the super fights were a thing. All right. And they were becoming like, all right, Rolex has been doing this for a few years. Let's do this. Okay. Diamonds did one. Okay. Now next year, we're all just going to do one. All right.
Yeah.
It was such a massive hit. People like fighting more. They like the excitement of it. It's a different type of pressure. Okay. If they're excited, they want to do it. We can do it. Let's do it. So David Chang was in a few of these. And you were like, how the frick is it? WT style, WT, Taekwondo guy gonna do this. All right. And I will be honest, like I was sick because guys, just like what they do with forms, fighters do the same thing. Like we'll sit and watch guys warm up, right? Over here stretching, just doing one of these, just me mugging the guy over here, right? And so never forget this, right? I'm a middleweight, so at this point, so it has nothing to do with me. It's not gonna matter because David was a heavyweight, right? He's a heavyweight and he's practicing all of the WT kicks. The double, the triple, the quadruple kicks. So pow, 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 pow. All right. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they're just roundhouse. They're just round kicks.
Yeah.
Round kick with and you're just switching legs. And if you don't know this style, you think that's retarded. It'll never work. But you've also never experienced it. It's faster and more powerful than anything you've ever experienced. It also will never work in point fighting. All right. So this guy's practicing with this, and I'm like, all right, whatever. You're a heavyweight. You're definitely not making it out of that division. I'm not going to have to worry about you. So I'm just going to go over here. And like my homie, Greg Betlock is just like, and he never says this. He never makes a comment, nothing about anybody, up, down, left, right, indifferent. And he's watching him. And I don't know what came over this guy. And he's like, looks over at like me. And he's like, sidekick all day. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like you never trash talk people. Guy made it to the finals. Guy made it to the finals a couple times. And I'm like, what in the wild world of sports is happening here? He did. And he beat some decent guys and got into the finals for the super fights. And I'm like, well, that is legit since you can't punch.
Yeah.
So, and we already know what kick is coming. This is kind of bonkers. No, David, when Raymond did the TKD fighting over there, that was, if I get it right, Jeff, is that the ITF?
Well, it was probably a combo of both. It was just a pro knockout. It was a knockout Taekwondo. It's kind of like what they have now with with combat Taekwondo, right? Or Taekwondo combat that they have right now. That's growing and getting bigger and bigger. It's kind of the same idea that they did, but they did it in a ring. So,
well, what is the style of Taekwondo that basically is like point fighting?
ITF does continuous point fighting pretty much.
Okay.
It's
like I mean, not the rules or the points, but the style is similar.
Yeah.
Ray did that style.
It's very similar to light contact in Waco, but more 1-2 move circle, 1-2 kick, boom, move circle, like that. So it's like us sparring in class without any breaks.
I know. So like David, so like the clips you probably saw of Ray fighting with that, that's probably what he was doing. He was doing that, which is basically just a recipe for being a highlight reel. If you're going to go in, you're going to fight Ray, and your mentality is, I'm going to come in there, bounce, bounce, step, round kick, jab, punch, get back. Like every highlight he does, there's nothing you can do, right? He'll just choose whatever one he feels like doing this time, because everything you do will just fall right into that. And he did a lot of them. He did a lot. It was awesome.
Yes, he did. Well, yeah, I don't know what happened. That didn't he? I thought he lost that final fight though, Dave, which was crap. It was crazy how he lost it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. Conroy went over there with him for that. Was in his corner for that one.
And he fought and beat some guy, but then like they were not giving anything, type of thing.
Yeah.
They were like, "No, your blitz that knocked him over missed."
Yeah, it was a tournament, so he fought like 3 or 4 different guys. So yeah, it was wild, man. It was fun to watch. I mean, he hit him with 1-2. Yeah. Yeah, Corey was there too. Yep, David. Yeah, so that's one of those Taekwondo moments. Another person I think of when I think of like Taekwondo competing in sport martial arts, I think of Kofi. Kofi.
I like that guy.
He would do like Taekwondo type spins and kicks while adding that point fighting hands, in there, right?
No, the dude could do forms.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his forms are great.
He didn't want to do the forms.
Now you see him in a bunch of movies, in his stunt career, still doing great. All those guys from that same era that all trained together. All, him, Arnold, Gio, all those guys from the same area, same school. They were all from that power kick school with Elsa Cordero and Arlene Lemus, and all became went to that next level. So it's pretty sweet.
I remember talking to Kofi, and he's like, "I don't even want to do forms." I'm like, "Well, you're here. You're doing a pretty decent job of it."
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? He goes, "Well, because this is on when they had the John Chung's team, the Jungle Care Psychic team." He goes, "It's some teams make it like you can do forms if you want, but you have to fight, right?"
Yeah.
This was the opposite. Jungle Care was the opposite. You do whatever you want, but you have to do forms. You have to do at least one form. And that was it. That was the rule. I didn't know that. And he's like, "Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm here is because I have to do a form. So I'm going to do this." Like, ironic. Maybe you should lean into this a little bit and enjoy it a little bit. You're actually doing pretty well.
Yeah,
right?
he's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he started his form, and at that time, a lot of times guys would just start their forms with just a standing back tuck.
Yeah.
He did back tuck half twist.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Right.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys doing a lot of things like that, especially in our area. So
Exactly. That's why I felt like, dude, lean into this thing. Or you know what? How about don't? Give me a shot.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man. So, all right. How we want to finish the show, man? Do we want to do
Well, hey, wait. I think we would be remiss if we talk about Taekwondo moments.
All right.
And we don't bring up Boston Taekwondo.
Yeah, that would be. Well, my idea was, hey, next week we'll have some more. But yeah, let's go ahead with Boston Taekwondo.
We could tease it a little bit and then come back with some more. But I think when the names that come up when you think Boston Taekwondo, you think the kicking, and you think Pedro Xavier. Yes, that makes total sense. But you're like, well, yeah, it's pretty great kicking. Wasn't Reggie Perry one? Yes, he was. Reggie Perry was Boston Taekwondo. Oh, wait. I heard the Brady's. Yes, Donald and Ronald Brady are also Boston Taekwondo. And then you start looking at it and you're going, did they at one point have the winningest fighting stable of all time? Like, if you look at like sometimes groups go in eras, right?
Correct.
And like, straight up has had a bunch of eras where it's like, holy crap, look at their lineup, right? The transatlantic, what is it? No, the Atlantic. What do I keep messing it up?
There's the Atlantic team, and then there's the Trans World Oral.
I'm putting them together is what I'm doing.
No, everyone does. I do that
At least
too.
it's not transgender Atlantics. Who knows?
Oh my God. Well, yes.
Oh, sorry, I'm going too far. But anyway, you have that, or maybe you look at like Corrali from like 10 years ago and go, well, wait, was that the best,
Yeah.
stable of fighters at one point? And
Right.
so Boston Taekwondo, I think you have to look at it and go, they're the most successful our sport has had within Taekwondo. Have to be.
I think so. Sorry, I'm mad right now.
What? I didn't even do nothing.
Because you and I are playing tonight's first game of the playoffs in basketball, and
Did I make my lineups right?
yeah, yeah, you did. And two of my guys last minute pulled out of the game, so yeah, I'm not too happy with that. But
That is a fantastic question. Jason Facey is every bit of that style, and he's every bit. You know who reminds me of Jason Facey? Is Willie Hicks.
yeah.
Willie Hicks and Jason Facey, they fought so similar. And I think, and I don't know, it wasn't so much technique wise, although Willie might be more talented. All right. But it's just like the FU-ness in their eyes. Like they both had a way of like speaking with their eyes. It was like FU, right?
Yeah.
Like while they were fighting.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I think so.
When I was younger, Eli Thompson was like that. I don't know if you remember him. He was like that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I remember, fighting him at 10, 11 years old and being like, never really hearing kids my age cuss at me before. And this guy was. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what's going on here? So, yeah, interesting. Yep, we got all those. All right. We shared those in the beginning, I think. Yep.
I think we
Awesome.
did.
Congrats to all those winners as well, Jarek, Drew, sorry, at the Freedom Cup. And yeah, man. All right. Do we want to try this thing? All right, let's just do this. We'll list some names, okay? And what we're trying to come up, we have a cool idea of like, all right, when you think of this competitor and this someone that you would probably YouTube, like what's your favorite YouTube video of this girl? What's your go-to YouTube video of this competitor? And for me, I'm thinking of like iconic people, like the legends, You had a different take. You were thinking of it like our old.
I was thinking something different,
but
I've already got a dozen.
Everyone has everyone probably has their favorite Raymond video. What is your go-to Raymond video? Do you get what I'm saying? How I'm going with this now?
Yeah.
So everyone starts sharing your go-to. I know there's some, but let's just say if you could only watch one, what would be the one? And I know that's hard. And maybe next week it would be a different one. And I'm going to be the same way. But
all right, I'll say one. And I actually searched for this. I couldn't find it. So, that's put it out here. Maybe other people can find it. It was 2003 Raymond Daniels versus Brian Ruth, World Series of Martial Arts, fighting for the final. And Brian scored 1 point because the corner ref grabbed Raymond and held him. And so Brian just punched him in the face. And that is the only one he scored. Ray was so dominant. So 2003, Raymond Daniels versus Brian Ruth for the final. And it was just one of those moments where it wasn't on stage. So you had a whole ballroom people standing up on chairs, getting people on shoulders. It's just the whole room was shaking. It was so cool.
Yeah.
That one. I would say that. And then, opposite end would be either the 2014 video with he and Jack Felton at the Diamonds or the 2014 video with he and Jack Felton at the Irish Open.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you had something different.
Well, no, I mean, those are ones I think of, those last two.
Yeah.
But for me, it's going to be, and I can't think of the year. I want to say it's 2000 and maybe 2010 Mexican Open when he jumped and did the kick off the wall and hit.
It was 2010. Yes.
What was he hit? But yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, and that was just like that's that one, and I don't even know if it's on YouTube anymore because it was a Blitz Kick video, and a lot of those got removed. So that was one of the greatest one. Like
it
right
wasn't
now,
even. It was how he
that
did it
vid-
too.
oh yeah, well that video, if it's put out now, is it's a viral video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like just the clip, right? That's a perfect Instagram video.
So
Or
what he
TikTok.
did, what he didn't do is he didn't jump off the wall with one foot and then kick with the other. He didn't do that. He
Jump off.
jumped off the wall, pushed off the wall, spun
Wow.
and rotated with the same foot, and then kicked him.
But here's the thing people forget about. You know he
How
didn't
he
score.
landed?
No, you know he didn't score first, right? While he's doing that, David, I think it's his name. No, I can't remember. It's Ortiz is his last name. He hit him with a spin hook kick to the head and scored with that first, actually. That's what's
So
crazy.
they hit him with a spin hook kick. Then he jumped off the wall.
No. In the middle of this whole rotation, when he jumps off the wall and he's going to do the round kick, the same time his opponent is doing a spin kick, and they hit about the same time. That's where
I
people
totally missed it.
people miss that because of how crazy. Whoa, he went off the wall. But Dane, did you see that? Actually, this is what happened. It's kind of funny how things like that happen, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
all right, so
David,
that's
the knockout in Denver and Glory. Yeah, that was amazing.
yeah, that would definitely.
We could
be
probably go through what are his best full contact knockouts, but let's go down the list with some other guys too.
All right, so let's go forms. This is one both of us had talked about earlier. Was Marcel Jones. All right, you know, I'm going to say the one that came out earlier this year, or actually a couple weeks ago, on Wally put out from Battle of Atlanta, and I believe it was 06, and that would be his creative form that he did out there at that time. You know, and you would probably say what, the 09?
I see. I think he actually placed better in 06 with those performances. I thought his better performance, I think it was either Gator Nationals 09 or it was definitely Diamonds 2000.
Diamonds 09, yeah. But what year was he won the Grand? He won 06. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, I mean the 09 one was where he did the jump outside switch outside the split. So that was one of my favorite ones as well. Was when he did that. Yeah. So yeah, I agree on that. And actually, you know, one more would be him and Kalman's final performance that they did at the Battle of Atlanta in 2011, right? And it was a demo, right? But it was just a fun, and being there was really cool too, just because everyone was excited. That's what opened the whole tournament of the Battle of Atlanta that year.
Cool.
So that was cool. They wanted to have their last performance. Both of those guys grew up with that battle being the tournament, you know, for them. And so again, so for me, I think, because we talked about like where would you like to have, you know, if I ever had like a retirement performance or a retirement tournament, you know, and maybe that way it would be better of being like, okay, this will be officially my last tournament, but then what if this tournament lets me perform, or you know what I mean? Like something like that. Because that would be the term I would use for something like that, because of what same way with those guys, battle means the same thing to me, you know?
So like if you, okay, I see what you're saying. So like it's like a conversation. If you were like, all right, I'm going to retire at XYZ tournament.
At Diamonds probably at the end of the year. You know what I mean? So let's say that.
But
right?
if I ever come back out to do a cameo appearance.
Yeah, well, make it as a special thing of saying, "Hey, I'm done," but this tournament means a lot to me. I want to make sure, you know, which is what they did for Kalman and Marcel at the time. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. So yeah, I would say the 09 one. What else? What other names we got here?
And now because of you mess with me,
I know. I know the years, the tournaments, but it's whatever. You can't find it, can't find it.
Well, yeah, I just had. All right, let's go with. All right, what's another one that everyone would think of, right? So, I mean, I think most people. Well, I don't know. Everybody has different John Valera performances. Everyone has different Carmichael performances. Jason Borelli,
There's
What
a
do you?
lot. So the John Valero ones, it's hard because unless Wally, lets everyone see him, he's the gatekeeper right now. He's the only one,
In a
and
lot of them,
it's not his fault. He's just the only one with the media.
in some sense, there's some good ones that are on there from Waco Worlds in '97 and '99. And
I didn't think those were his best performances though.
no, but yeah, but there were some iconic performances because of the white hair and and the different things like that, right? And I
But
was
see, even with that, I think his final one at the Diamonds, that's my favorite one of all time with the Frofias.
really okay. Well, that's on there because Lauren put that out years ago.
In 1999.
Yeah,
That's the thing is when you think of a performer like that, you think of a competitor like that, right? Sometimes there's going to be those performances, like when we talk about Carmichael, all right? I mentioned him today. I actually literally mentioned him today with the first time he did the mega combo together, all right?
yeah, Bluegrass
So-
Night. Yeah,
Or when he did the Crow in 94, right? So you go,
Yeah.
oh, okay, these are massive moments.
Yeah.
But you got better and you had better performances. You had better forms
yeah,
years later. I actually think with John, it ended. That was the best ending. It was his best form. If you take all of his forms, you take emotion out of it, you line them up, that's his best. And it still had the best moment because of the way that buildup was, because we all knew this is the last one.
Yeah.
And he came in with the frosted tips, right?
yeah.
And we waited like 3.5 minutes before he walked himself on stage.
Right. Well, because the thing is that was his last one in the States. Actually, his Waco one
know.
was actually his last one, so that's why.
That's
But
why I think it doesn't count.
so I see for me, his '97 stuff is stuff that like isn't seen as much. '96 and '97 stuff because I love the zombie. Like to me, like that zombie form was one of the best.
96?
96 and then 97 when he came out with the double 720 and was just like whoa, and he was still doing the 542, the knee, all that combined. It was pretty sick. All right. And again, I'm such a big fan of John's junior career because that's what I looked up to a lot. That I think some of those don't, and again, there's not much footage of that, right? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that was a really cool one. The slow walk to the stage. So there's some things that are coming out, like his first adult grand champion was 95 Battle of Atlanta Weapons. It wasn't forms, right? And a funny story about that was there was a lot of things that happened that night that were weird. Like Richard Brandon couldn't get his music to work. He was unbeatable 97. And John was taking a nap when they called his vision up. Like he was asleep. He was chilling. And they said, "Hey, come on, it's time to go." Went up there, did his form, won, beat everybody.
That's so annoying.
I know, right?
So annoying. It's actually irritating.
And the thing is, we all had to compete the next day too, because that was a year that we were doing the Atomics Grand Slam. So we did Saturday and Sunday, dude.
That's so annoying. I can't stand that.
I know.
All right, what's the next name?
All right, let's see. You want to do a Jason Borelli? Because we could do both of these.
So many. See, Jason Borelli is like the karate Paul Bunyan. I'll tell you why. Because Jason has moments that happened everybody talks about, but just for some freaking reason, this moment never caught on camera, right?
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, and honestly, for me, all right, so this is what's funny about some of the YouTube search. It's not always their best fights or the best forms that I'm going to watch more. I will, and I hate it for him, but I mean, he'll laugh about it too, but I will watch US Open 2000 when he almost kills himself doing the death drop, right? And I'll watch that video on YouTube more than even some of my favorite forms that he does. later on, or even before that he did the year before, that people were like, whoa, what the heck? Where's this guy coming from? Like the 99 Battle of Atlanta, right? When people were like, wait, this guy, I thought he was an NBL fighter. Oh, he does forms too? Oh, crap. Yeah. But yeah, that 2000 US Open, where literally you got to think he won the daytime like grand championship. He didn't win the ISKA title that night because he almost killed himself, knocked himself out, right? But he beat, like, think of that tournament, like the names that were there. Anthony Atkins at his prime.
So,
Jimmy Graham
and that's
at
the
his
thing
prime.
with him. This is why
his prime.
he's like Paul Bunyan, all right?
Right.
Because like what you just like, oh, I thought he was like an NBL fighter, right? What's he doing over here doing forms and weapons? Like, that's not going to go well. Oh, never mind. You're not an actual human being. Like, you're some kind of bionic human. What is this? Right? Because it's like, all right, you're 5'8", you're a really good kicker, but you're 5'8". No, you're the greatest kicker that's ever seen a karate tournament. Like, what? He just makes a point to, like, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is the norm that you think should be, like, freaking get about it. They just throw it out the window. It doesn't matter with this person. So when I say, like, some of the things that just weren't caught on camera, how about freaking this one? All right. I had probably a dozen people tell me that they were there, saw this thing. How about when he did continuous at the US Open and he fought a gold belt? Remember it? The guy goes to block. And Jason Borelli is such a phenomenal kicker. I feel bad for the gold belt. But it's also like it's like a Mack truck and a sidekick, right? He broke his freaking arm blocking. He's put his arm there in front of Jason Borelli's heel, and now you have no more arm. Like, that's bananas. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, I was a part of one of those where it's like, I'm glad there's nothing on videotape here. I've had a couple of those with him. Right?
What's your favorite video, right, of him?
Favorite video of Jason Borelli. Oh my God. All right. He doesn't win this one.
Yeah.
But I thought he was going to. 2011 super fight final with he and Hamid. Now, Hamid beat him in 2010. Yeah. Okay. So now 2011, they were both like quintuple overtimes, right? It was like back and forth, because you got to win by 2, right? And Hamid was at his best, and like Jason's Paul Bunyan, right? Like, you could be down and out, like, watch me swing this axe, I'm good, right? So, but he comes out, and I'm Team Hamid. I'm rooting for him, and I remember I was quiet, being like, holy shit, because Jason his leg was so amazing that day, and Hamid's got a formula for him, but it sometimes just doesn't freaking matter when you're fighting him, right? He hit him with a fake axe side, landed the side, then followed up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you just went 1996 on him, right? And it worked. How is this possible, right? So I think that's probably my favorite one. It's such an exciting video.
Yeah, man, as far as ones that I watch a lot, because I was just there so much, I saw so much, I watched a lot of his WCL stuff.
Oh, that's a
and
good
like
one, man.
how he would just axe kick the crap out of people and just dropping people left and right. And you look at some of the people that at that time we didn't really realize that they were kind of names or what they went to. He beat up some people who were pretty legit, or they went along and we're hoping that, hey, hopefully no one sees this, that I got knocked out by an axe kick.
Dude, doing slide side kicks to the forehead.
Yeah, just crazy. So, yeah, those are some of my favorite things. So I guess
who does a slide side kick to the forehead in full contact? Who does that?
Well, he does. All right, what's one more name? Let's see. Or someone of course we have, I think a lot of us probably have the same Kalman one.
A former fighter.
Whatever. A former.
Well, you just mentioned it, and I think, we can easily say or Kalman Choka, it's the 2011 Diamonds, right?
Yeah, I think so. But is there another one? Like for me, so many people think of Kalman for the double sword. But I tell you, man, his single sword, Like it's just as good. It was insane.
All right.
And he was just as dominant with
So
that.
here's my other Kalman, my opposite extreme, right? For Kalman is his junior form in 2001.
Yes.
And if you look at the form side by side, you go, well, that one's not as good as it's not even half as good. You got to put yourself in the time, right?
Exactly.
He was doing like a 1990, which is like a breakdancing hand, like it's like a spin from a one-handed handstand, land, and will go into like a full twisting back tuck. Like, what is happening? Like, what? He did a butterfly twist land flash kick in one combo.
Swing through flat. Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. Right.
So it was just things that like, okay, yeah, that might be something that guys do today. At that time, it was people weren't doing combos. All right.
No,
even if you go like, well, in 1995, Carmichael did that. Yeah, but nobody else could do that. So nobody else did do that. So they were still in 1 to 2 move at a time movements, and they weren't mega moves. It'd be like a spin hook kick 540, right? Or it'd be like a jump outside crescent 720, right? That was the combo.
Yeah,
right?
If you were doing 2 moves, wow, you were,
you were phenomenal, right? But he did 2 moves where like sometimes people would just have a big build up for 1 move. Correct. He would do those moves in combos. So that's where it was like this stuff doesn't make sense. Right.
Yeah, that year 2000 and then later 2001. Yeah, he was on fire, man. And
2001
is like he started that year winning the musical divisions in 2000, right? And a lot of people like he started the year winning a lot, and then it became Steve, and then you also had Nick Begley. Like there were so many people that were winning throughout that time that were so good. And then, even Emming was coming.
That was your group. That was your group of guys.
Right. And then at that time too, was when everyone was doing both circuits too. So you had this happening on NBL and NASCA between those 2-3 years. It was wild. And
it was better for our sport.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, you have Tirada coming up, but I mean, it was just insane of the different people. But you look at someone like a Nick Begley, who was a power move person, but single moves, right? But everything was super clean and powerful.
Yes.
And then against Kalman, who was doing combos, right?
Exactly.
And then you had the crazy combos that Tirada was doing, right?
Yeah. So, and he didn't get the credit because nobody
he did a lot right then. I mean, I watched the Form for a Day, and I was like, how did he win this one? You know what I mean? It was just kind of interesting on that, But he dealt with that, and he went through that whole thing too of similar to Anthony, you know what? And I think a lot of times back in the day when we saw people that are really good at flipping or tricking, sometimes we would sometimes justly, but sometimes unjustly say, oh, well, their martial arts isn't very good, or all they could do is trick, right? And he dealt with that, and he knew he had to get better at that. And by the time when you saw him in, let's say, 2004, when his forms are just so, like 2003, 2004, his forms not only are so creative and difficult, but they're way cleaner. Like, it's like, whoa, like he took that to heart. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone always does say, hey, this is my style. This is what I'm going to do. He kept his style, and he actually evolved even more of a crazier style.
Even more of a crazy choreographer.
Yeah. So like for me, like that 2003 or 2004, I would say actually 2004 compete video of him doing his form was probably my favorite. And that was during the daytime.
Okay.
One of my favorites. Yeah.
All right. You want to do one more?
Yeah. And then I guess we'll call it a night.
Okay. We'll do one more. I'll make it a fighter. How about Avery Plowden?
Oof.
He's got 318,000 great videos you could watch.
Honestly, mine may be one of his most recent ones.
Really? Tell me.
Years ago, WKC Portugal, when he drops him with the jump spin back into the body. That would be mine, probably. I think we have a female in there.
Mine would be 2014 AKA Warrior Cup final against Cass Sigmund. Right?
That's a great fight. Yeah, that's a good one.
The reason why it's such a great fight is because, I mean, Cass is just coming off an ACL tear, right? and he was there. I mean, it was not long.
Yeah.
He was out. He was out for 3-4 months,
Mm-hmm.
right? From tear to
Yeah.
competition.
Right.
Like, what is happening here? Right. And
Yeah.
so anyway, he does that. But he's cast freaking Sigma. He's a great fighter. So we made it to the Warrior Cup final. So Avery's basically just put on a video of how you do a step in back fist. All right. And it was just that the entire day. All right.
Yeah.
So Cass generates his offense based off of where his front leg is at. But with Avery, if your front leg isn't at his face or at or above his hand, it's not a threat to him. So he's faster from when your foot gets to his hand, he's faster than you to go to there than you are to get your foot to him, right?
Mhm.
And if your foot isn't at his hand, he's not worried about getting hit in the face because he's got his other hand guarded around. So he
Yeah.
just knows how fast he is, and Cash didn't have a plan B, right? And
Right.
it was a absolute clinic. So if you guys are like, yeah, I want to coach some of my people on how to do step in back fist, watch that video, break it down. You don't even have to stop it, because sometimes when you're doing that, you're like, all right, let me go move that back. Don't even move it back. He's
Yeah.
gonna do it again.
You want to do it again?
Oh,
Yeah.
did you see that? Don't worry about it. He's gonna do it again. It was like that.
Definitely. I love that. I love that. I don't know. Next week, I know we got there's some. We're gonna do more research next week, but I think there's a lot of fun ones we can do with this segment. So
This is a lot of fun.
yeah,
And guys, it's okay if you guys want to throw in some names. That we'll
Yeah.
definitely
of course.
call some of those out too. If you're like, hey, what about this person? Yeah.
There
If
you
I
go.
got a video, I'll definitely tell you which one I think is
Yeah.
my favorite.
One more thing. We're getting close. May 2nd, Grand Slam Open returns. Excited for that. So guys, hit me up if you need more information. Again, we're on mountaction.com. Go register now. And I have my group page, Jeff Doss Grand Slam Open, for more information. If you guys got any questions, we're going to be doing Japanese challenge, Korean challenge, the same way that Korean challenge is done. We're going to do the kata version as well. And then also we're going to do a 40 plus version of that. So traditional challenge, where in the 40 plus, it'll be the Japanese Korean together doing it, the 3-round format. But you have to do, for the adults, you have to do 3 different forms. All right. So we're challenging you even more. All right. And then we got juniors as well. And lots of fun. We're bringing the gumball machines back for our junior competitors, underbelts this time, as well as black belts, and the belt buckles are on the way soon. So, going to be a lot of fun, man. And we also have IKF kickboxing as well. They'll be a part of it. So I think not next week, but the week after, we will have Johnny Davis on to talk about what he does in that side of the world, and how he's been successful for, I guess, 30 years now, having that circuit. So next week, guys, we have a special guest. We got Chris Rapplaud coming on next week, JPM legend. And it's a great time to have someone like that on as we are promoting and getting you guys pumped up for Ocean State Grand Nationals. And he has a lot of great stories and a lot of experience. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.